All right, hey guys, what is up? Nukage here. I'm in the studio today, getting ready to do a stream from making a track from scratch. The concept behind this is I've been writing a lot of tracks lately that are just sort of free-form tracks, and I have this template, and I have all these. Basically, I just started making tracks like 1, 2, 3, like all the way through 30. So I have 30 tracks I started basically as little drafts. Some of them have gone on to become, one of them is released already. It became a remix. A couple of them have become different things, but most of them didn't become anything, and they're just scraps. And so I took a lot of the scraps and I exported them into waves. Now, how I usually do this is I've been doing this a long time, basically ever since I got my Octatrack, which I don't use it for this anymore, but I just got in the habit of always exporting the best loops and drums and anything from my projects into wave files in a certain format. And the format looks like this, where it's I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little better here from now on. So it's like name of the original track, dash, BPM. Sometimes I switch it, dash, the key, so it's G minor, and then just a name of a thing just to make it somewhat normal. So really the key here is I have the key, or I should say the key is the key, like the key information is in the loop, so I generally know what loops are going to go together and how far I'm going to need to transpose loops in order to get them sounding good together. And if you write 30 tracks like I did, and that most of which are not going to be usable or you're not going to release, you can do this. And especially with the new version of Ableton and the slicer, it's really easy to get stuff going that is really great sounding. So today, the goal of the day is to create a track from scratch in the next 2 hours. So I don't have a timer, but we'll go roughly for 2 hours, and then I'll have something done that I can either continue working on or put back into the scrap machine. But it's kind of like once you start resampling audio and then making new samples out of the audio, and then you resample it again, sometimes the quality, you're losing quality especially if you're time stretching stuff a lot. So it kind of depends like what I do to the audio. So for instance, if I just drag in some chords and then I transpose them up 3 octaves or transpose them up 3 semitones, I should say, because we're in a different key, and then I would go back to this track and I might export some things, then I wouldn't export that, because if it's essentially the same sound but just in a different key, then what I would do is I would just go back to that original sound in the new track I'd be working on and grab it from there. So it kind of depends. You're going to have to use your judgment as to what you're doing if you're going to work this way. But I love it because, it works. I can grab all these loops. I can bring them into my Octatrack. I can send them to my iPad, my iPhone. I can mess around with loops, all based on stuff I've worked on before. So it's not, there's even like an Evernote file in here for something I recorded. So there's just a lot of material here. Plus this is only one folder. I've got all different folders from older projects, but this current project is my Splurge Challenge, which is something you know about if you never heard of Mike Monday and his programs, because I'm doing the Make an Album with Mike. So this is sort of part of that, although I haven't really been following it. I followed it for the first few weeks, and then I sort of jumped off and did my own thing. So, and life intervenes and everything like that. But today, hopefully we're going to get something started. So really, when I work like this, I tend to work more in arrangement view because I already have a lot of loops. So sometimes when I start ideas, like most of these ideas were started in arrangement view, or I should say session view, and then I eventually arranged them. So I think a good thing to do when you're working in Ableton, especially if you use the session view, is to have a set amount of time that says like, I'm going to jam and screw around for, I like 45 minutes. That's what I do. I go 45 minutes in session view if that's what I'm doing, if I'm jamming. Because for me, I don't use session view beyond just initial idea generation. Once I have something arranged, I generally never go back to session view unless I'm doing something very specific, like recording vocals because you want to do a lot of different takes, or maybe recording any live instruments where you want to have a lot of different takes. I will do in session view, but for the most part, after initial idea generation, I'm in arrangement view. But the nice thing about the new Ableton, the latest they've had it for a little while, but it's fairly new. If you've been on Ableton for several years, you could never have both. Oh no, full screen mode. That's not what I want to do. I hate that transition time. It's like, why does it have to be so long? Anyway, I'm just trying to show the second window so you can have both at the same time, which is, well, I have two monitors. You guys can't see the other monitor, which is because I have Twitch on there. But the point is that that's how it works. So, all right. I really don't know what to do. I was thinking I have actually been working mostly in drum step tempo lately, and drum step and also mid tempo. So anywhere from like 85 to 105. That's really where I've been living for the past few weeks, months, whatever. So actually even longer than that, kind of like a year. I've been focusing heavily on drum step, but I still have dubstep songs, and I'm releasing dubstep songs. And I also watched I rewatched a Mr. Bill video where he was doing a lot of cool stuff, and he only works in arrangement mode as well. So this is mostly melodic. I generally don't sample out too much drums because I like to work with drum racks, so this is an exception. Plus I have different things. So these are all sort of unorganized into like what they are. So I have other folders where I actually organize them, but I decided not to do that with this particular project. I don't really know why. That's just what I decided to do. So, all right. So I have this default drum rack here. Probably gonna. It's got like just these sounds from Break Tweaker, which I really enjoy. But I actually have another drum kit that I've been using a lot lately. So I think I'm gonna go with that drum kit. It's called Tight Kicks and Snares. It's in my Temple Instruments. And have my Ableton push here, so I'm just gonna. So anyway, I've been doing this for a while, but I've I do really enjoy playing drums in live. Don't get me wrong, but I generally just know exactly what I want in my head, and it's easier for me to just, like, for instance, you're just like, well, I know I want every snare on the 2, right? Or not on the 2, on the, well, let's see. Let's make a loop. Zoom way in. So I actually I gotta set the BPM, so let's set it to 140, because I decided I'm gonna do a dubstep track. I don't know why that loop is playing. Weird. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, I see. There's something in session happening. I don't know why. This is supposed to be a snare. It's supposed to be right here. we've got gonna have a kick, and we're gonna have sort of like weird timed kicks. All right, that's a lot of kicks, so we don't really need that many kicks. But so I'm just gonna consolidate it, and that basically turns it into. So now I can do stuff like I can. So when I start a track, first of all, I like everything to be lined up with the grid. So I use these differences in colors a lot to make sure I'm working in the right increments of time. And then the other thing is I'll kind of cut things up. So the first one we want to have, we like this rhythm, but it's too many kicks. So usually I add a lot of kicks to kind of define the rhythm, and then I'll sort of, and then I'll start deleting them. So usually on the first one I just have one because it gives it space. So if you have a growl coming in or something like that. I don't know who this is texting me. Then it won't be crowded. So if you have like a bunch of kicks right here and you've got a growl coming in, it's not going to work. So you want to give it, I always like to give it some space to just be like, boom, where the drop has arrived. And then depending on, I might actually delete this kick. Yeah, that's a little. And then there's another beat that I've been. So I'm gonna duplicate this down so we also have it, and then where you just kind of, yeah, like just leave that space open. I like that. I really like that. Another one would be using this kick. We're doing like just trying to think of like different wobble rhythms you could put over this. That's kind of interesting. If we loop this. It's kind of got that space, but it's also got that sort of like, the ending is sort of quick. This is more like frenetic, more like in your face, like whereas this beat is more like laid back, but it's also kind of got that frenetic ending. I'm very, I love just listening to different, how people place their kicks and their snares and tracks. It might not be that interesting to some people, but it completely can change the feel of your track. And then if you're somebody that writes it where all the sounds start on the kicks and the snares, then it's actually really important to how you arrange your drop, because it's going to be synchronized with your sounds completely. And also all of your other drums follow from that as well. So there's not really any reason not to think about it too much. So what else we do? How about, I've got Superior Drummer installed recently, so I'm loving it. I'm gonna load it up. I'm going to load a preset that I like, which is this Joe Sturgis thing. Sounds like it's like a djent. It's like a djent thing, which I sort of messed around with some djent stuff recently, but that's for another day to talk about. So I'm gonna stick this. I'm gonna stick this right here because I mostly use it for fills. That's really it. I don't typically use it for anything other than fills, but sometimes I do use the cymbals in the fills. So I'm not going to use it for rides or anything like that in the track or any of the main crashes, because I just like to use white noise or other like synthetic sounds for those. All right, I'm talking a lot, and that's kind of making me not go so fast. So I'm just going to shut up for a little while and just make some stuff, and then maybe talk about what I did. So here we go. This is a drop I made a little while ago, and I love it, but it might be cool to chop it up as well. So I like to set it to trigger mode gate, probably back through, and then I'm going to turn the velocity to volume. It's in B minor though, so it's kind of like, I don't know if I want to write a track in B minor. It's kind of a weird key, but you know what, I say, like, part of writing stuff fast is just going with the first thing that you grab. So let's do it. That's cool. Yeah, there's a little rest there. Okay, so I'm just going to loop this, because this is going to be the basis of our drop. Alright, so that's kind of interesting. So we're just going to go with it for now. So I like to, let's see here, template, instruments. Also got loops in here, so hot loops. Here we go. Alright, so let's see. We got to make sure that the side chain's working. So, okay, it should be working. So let's go to the side chain. Make sure. Alright, so I think our drum rack is, well, our hat loop is way too loud, so we're going to get rid of that. All right. Maybe I can bring the bass up a little bit. The bass is actually. I'm going to bring that all the way up, and I'm going to bring this down because it's a lot easier to control it with this. Alright, I'm going to duplicate time. I'm going to make a variation on this. So I feel like... This is okay, but I'm gonna move over here. Alright, I like that. I have a couple problems though. This hat loop. Maybe if I just start producing it more, it'll sound. I always have to like move my head around. Let me just have to delete parts of it. I should be like, there we go. Kind of want to like get rid of some of these kicks too. What if I did something like this? I want that to be like a melodic sound. So, why don't I go into my samples? We'll go back to, we'll see what's in B minor. Okay. Some thing. Oh, that's cool. And I'll just like delete this whole thing. I just want like a little snippet of this. Maybe. Right here. Yeah, it's too much. Maybe if I... Yeah, there's like no real melodic context right now. So I feel like maybe just having like a lot of guys do ARPs in the background of their drops. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know why. I just don't like it. It's not my style. So I'll go with a vocal. I got this cool new plugin. It's got vocals in it just that are exactly right for this kind of thing. And I'll make so we're in B minor, so I'll make a B. the B will be. Has to be. Is it B or B sharp? Above. And then what I'll do is I'll throw. I mean, it's already going through. Well, this is not a bass, so I'm going to go ahead and move this to the. Either move this to its own group or move it to a leads group or something like that. Oh, so many bass tracks, and this is supposed to be my template. I don't know why I have so many bass tracks on a template, and they're just completely unorganized. That's not very smart. So what I'll do, sometimes what I do is, even though I have this side chained already, I'll add another side chain because I want some things more side chained. So I'll just layer side chains. Sometimes when you copy paste a side chain, it doesn't remember what the side chain, what was feeding it. So you have to go. This is just a weird Ableton thing. So they should probably fix. Let's do pre-effects. I want to make it sound like really far away. So this plugin has it's got rhythm and it's got reverb. I don't know which is up and down. It doesn't doesn't seem to be too intuitive, so we'll just play with it. Oh, that's weird. Now it's a pencil. Play. Oh, that's weird. It doesn't. Spacebar isn't working. Still not that clear about what these do, but it sounds okay, so I'm just gonna leave it. Actually, this isn't even that cool of a sound. I think maybe I could do better. I want something that's kind of dark, though. I don't want anything that's too much high energy. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. I need to move on from this, so. That's kind of cool. All right. I have this little did-it. Maybe if it's a little longer. This isn't. I don't know if this is gonna work. just did like. So I'm gonna just add our bass, which is a little trick you can use just to get some quick low end on your track. Just throw us on the bass channel, and just the default setting usually sounds pretty good. Then maybe I'll throw waves fatter, and I might not keep these. I might just replace with a separate sub, but. And I might add OTT, which is compressor. That's interesting. Usually it decreases in volume when I add this. Because my limiter on my masters. Oh, my limiter on my masters isn't even being triggered, so. Alright, so now this is a basic drop. Duplicate it twice. So now what I need to do is figure out what I'm actually going to do for the melody of the track. And one way to do this, I don't always do it this way, but it's one way, and that is to go back to my samples, because I said I'm only doing this, almost doing this completely with samples. Obviously this vocal thing is just contact, but whatever. Take me down, take me. I specifically wanted to use this for something because I like it. It's like a ARP thing. But it's definitely in the wrong key. So if we're in B, this is in G, then we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 away. So this is kind of far. So we can bring it down 8 and then bring it up 12. So it's +4. See, I can't do simple math, so I just do that. And then I like that. Now, I'm just going to keep part of my workflow is I'll just layer and layer and layer until it's just ridiculous, and then I'll go cut things up, take them apart. So I'll deconstruct what I've constructed into an arrangement. So now what I might do is try to find another thing that goes with this. So that's pretty, something a little happier. I don't probably have that much happy stuff. That's cool. I forgot about that. What was a G sharp? So this might be. So let me duplicate this. This could be our verse, maybe. I just need like some extra area so I can drop some stuff down and play with it. So if this was in G, and that was up 4, and this is G sharp, so this would have to be up 5, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. Or not. That sounds pretty terrible. There you go. Apparently, I was wrong about one of these and what key it was. Alright, this is cool though. Feeling this. Now let's see about. This is also from this weird track I was working on. Let's see if this going up +4. Now it's one ARP and another ARP, so it might be completely horrible, or it might sound great. So let's see. It's not gonna work. I have a lot of RP stuff, so maybe what I need instead of loops at this point is to create a baseline for this. So in order to create a baseline, I'm going to what I could do is generate chords, like full-on chords. So I have this X lead here that's sort of designed for that. I'm gonna just check the channel here. Should keep your sub mono, dude. Yeah, I will eventually. I mean, we're not producing right now. If I was producing right now, then I would keep my sub mono. Although some people say that that's bullshit. So never really trust production advice online anyway. I don't do anything with the sub. My monitors don't have good low end, so I don't even hear the sub until I'm getting to the end of the production phase. So I don't really. The sub is on. It's just always been one of the last things I deal with because it's going to change so much. My melody is going to change. Everything's going to change. So I'd like to see how wide the sub is. I mean, it might be in mono already, you know? It might not be that wide. Why would it be? I don't know. This is how I do it. You know, eventually everything will be perfect, but right now we're not dealing with perfection. We're dealing with creativity. Very different things. All right. Anyway, that got me all sidetracked. Isn't it funny how like one little comment can get you completely off your creative game? Oh wait, this already is a bass line, so na 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 na. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's see. So somebody texted me today and was like, we should jam. I don't know who it was. I feel like I should get back to them before it gets too late because okay. actually pretty cool. But what if I like to do insane time stretching. That's pretty cool. I'm going to disable that because the rhythm is pretty odd. So we're going to turn this. Oh, this is already up as it goes, but I'm going to write some harmony to this. So I think I'll just do triads, and then for the second time I'm just gonna make it on the grid perfectly because I just think that's better for now. Oops. And this one. And then I'm going to go back up. So it'll be sort of, I guess I'll just invert this chord. Complex chord like that's not a more complex chord. F? Yeah, there's no F in this, so let's do it. Maybe I just turn it into a minor chord. What if I did that? So like foreboding. It's already got a B in it though. See, I can't. That's kind of cool. That's cool. I feel like we have to sort of match that idea, like where the top line is switching toward the end there. like it. So I think that the basis of this track is going to be this thing repeated 4 times, this thing repeated twice, and then this thing, and then a build here, a build up here, and then this thing repeated in the beginning as an intro, and that will be the whole track. At least as far as I as far as this being a track that I finish in 2 hours, because that is the goal, is to finish a track in 2 hours, or at least finish a draft. And it's not going to be, it's going to sound like a track I made in 2 hours. So yeah, that's why I don't have time to do a mono sub or whatever. I don't know. Some of these kicks I don't like. I don't know if I like that This is sort of on its own because I want it to play throughout. I don't want it to be really... This is just a technique I used before. Utility. So all right, like we don't have time to do tons of edits on this. So what I could do, that's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't understand. I must have duplicated an extra time that I need to duplicate it, so cut time. just realized why that was there. Because this is actually what we need to cut. So cut time there. Then this is still here. This is the new beginning of the section. Then we need some Alright, so this is... Why is this... Sometimes it does that. I don't know why. Okay, so... I don't know. I don't even like this track right now. I'm not sure what to do. I feel like I'm... kind of on the spot here. Okay, so we gotta get the leads in here. Alright, so we're gonna do, I have an idea for this. I'm just gonna make a pattern in Superior Drummer. That's cool. Alright, so I'll do is I can use Superior Drummer to make a build up. It'll be pretty easy, just snare roll. Make it better later. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, I don't want to do too much, so just do that. I want like a bigger sound than this. To like start, yeah, I need to get to that point where I need to start producing this drop a little bit more because it sounds really weak right now. And I need to also maybe figure out how I'm gonna, I guess the easiest thing to do would be to like cut a piece of this, just kind of loop it up. So I could use something called Fade to Gray. It's kind of, or I could just use the ping pong delay, and just kind of fade this up as we get to this point. So fade that up to 100 or even 50. I don't know. I mean, I guess you wanted it. Compress it so that it stays pretty loud. I'm just gonna fade up the compressor pretty much the same as I fade this up. You know, I'm even just gonna copy this automation line, paste it on this automation. We need a little more rhythm just so we don't lose what we're talking about here. Alright, so I don't like all these hi-hats. Oops, those are the kicks. Alright, so now I think we're at the point where we need to add some impacts. So for some impacts, I'm going to load up contact, which is, I have complete 10. So I have something called damage, which is a very cool sample library for contact. And it's got some. Actually, I want to use. Do I want to use damage? Is that what I want? I don't remember. Percussive kits, metals, hybrid effects kits. Let's try that. Damage hits mod wheel. See, I was thinking this was a different. I love these. These are great. I'll throw some in. Why not? I already loaded the thing up. Might as well use it, right? So if there's a big right here. Once again, my computer's just kind of beach balling for no reason. I think it's because I have so many hard drives connected, and then they go to sleep. And then when I need to use a sample on one, it's like loading the hard drive, wake up hard drive. And that's why sometimes it just freezes for a few minutes. One day we'll have solid state drives in for every single drive, and it won't be a problem. But that day is not here yet. I only have a solid state for my boot drive. So with the mod wheel up, now the funny thing about Ableton is you have to actually have some movement to the mod wheel in order to make it really work. So you get that nice tail. It's usually just 2 samples layered, and nothing too crazy, but it's amazing what you can do with just samples and contact. Like, especially the people that make this software, that sell it. There's so much stuff you can do. All right, so let's layer a couple hits. Why not? 3 different ones. Alright, so that's cool. We're going to cut this off right there. And then what I'll do is I love this sample pack, Black Octopus Leviathan. It's got all these impacts. I really like this particular one called, I think it's called like Landmine or something. Because it's got good low end to it. And I use it as an effect when the drop comes in sometimes. I don't know, it's pretty intense though. Actually, that reminds me, I gotta get rid of this voice for that part because I really want that. See, everything's gonna be at a certain point, probably soon. I'm gonna compress the crap out of everything, and then you don't want anything else happening right here. Just bleh. Maybe what I'll do is I'll boost the highs on this group too, just to give it a little extra shine. This is already probably compressed anyway, so anyway, I think it's time to start pushing the limiter so I can really get a sense of how it's going to sound. Fortunately for you guys, that sounds a lot louder, so I'm just going to bring it down about 4 dB. so we're not done with the effects yet, though. We need some... Sure, why not? I'll do that. Could do. I could turn on warping. Loop marker is always in a weird place today. Alright, duplicate that. Couple things I could try. One thing is add some more ride symbols. So actually what I want to do is just have that play the whole time. Then I'll add another layer of just rides. Is that right? Just like that. Might as well go. And then instead of deleting MIDI, I'll just use the utility. And then I'll mute it at certain points. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a completely different drop for this part. Why? Because I don't really like the drop that much. It's gonna be like that's kind of cool. And then maybe somehow I'll mute the leads group. You know what I'll do? I'll use a low pass filter. And I'll automate that. Filter. I'll just bring it up. Maybe I'll even turn on the chords again. And then maybe I will use a chord and then I'll put it a octave above. I'm going to send the CPU through the roof, but I don't really care because it's 3 different layers of synths. Got a Spire, a Serum, and another Serum. If I had this might be a terrible idea or an okay idea. I've never done it before. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Do that and then do it again over here. Just keep doing it. Hold on a minute. Twisted to 145. That's actually way better of a drop already. I was about to be like, this is a lost. I thought this track might be a lost cause. No, that's a very strong word. I wouldn't say that, but I would say that I wasn't feeling very motivated to finish it, and now I'm like, okay, I have some ideas now. So one thing I want to do is get a sound in, a certain kind of sound. This is Stefan, if you're watching this, this is your lead. Sorry, but I'm stealing it. It's a really good lead. I know how to use it. Group because I don't want it like filtered or anything. Hold on, let me think. Na 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 na. So I think it should be like that. There we go. Maybe like a little bit of a build up to it. One thing I would do if I was smart is put a scale on there because I just don't know what notes are in the scale by heart. And I think we're in B or B minor, something like that. So let's try B. That should be really obvious. Sounds so dry, and normally I don't mind that, but maybe reverb just to see how it would be if I had a little reverb. Yeah, just a little bit of reverb. Yeah, I like that. I don't mind that. Okay, I hear a like a note that I'd like to change. So should go like that. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Saving. And then duplicating, and then I need to like come up with some cool thing to bring in the second go round. So I guess it could just be like a sample or an effect or a new sound that I haven't used before. I guess I could just do like the hey trap sound that's really stereotypical, but I need something to like, I just feel like I need it. Gotta find it. Yeah, like that. Maybe. We'll see. No, not there. Yeah. Does sound a little better. Guess I could turn off the monitors now. Get less feedback. That's weird. This didn't get copied. Oh no, I have my automation copy turned off. Alright, so let's try this again. Duplicate time. Let's go ahead and delete time. Actually, let me do this. Delete time. Alright. So all I'm gonna do is just have a little bit of a fun with this riser. And just turn on this envelope right for this device, just for this. Alright, so another thing we could do is turn on the mutes for, I think every group should have its own mute. So, just so I don't have to delete MIDI. Oh, so this is actually in the bass group. So let's move this to the effects group. I guess effects don't really need mute groups. Hey! Group mutes. Hey! Hey! We can make this a little different now. So let's do. This drop is sounding okay finally. Started off pretty weak. I think you got to add all these little details, and then all of a sudden it starts to come alive. So now I'm gonna like just listen for a good part to put in a drum fill, because of course drum fills are awesome. So let's go. I think right here. One, two, dun, 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 dun. I don't know. I kind of wanted to do like a triplet thing too, because triplets are awesome. Zip. And then what we're gonna do is, I don't like the ringing, the decay of the toms, so I'm just gonna cut the toms after this. These aren't like, maybe if I pitch bend they'll be different. I guess it doesn't work that way, huh? So all I want to do here is mute maybe if this was like some cool sound. the end of this stuff. So. Hey. Hey. Let's see what it sounds like together. Okay, there's going to be some problems here as far as... Okay, we're getting close here. Close to being what I would call ready to stop. All I want to do is get a bass line that goes with the chords. So that should be easy. I'll just copy the chords and I'll just delete most of it because I actually wrote it as a baseline to begin with, and I just wrote everything else above the bottom note as the harmonies. Actually, this is it. This is it right here. These 3 notes. Loop it. And I'll just... It's going to take some... I do this thing with the mod wheel, so... change the chain, so chain. Might turn on the ARP. ARP. Problem is, if it gets too low, it sounds kind of... do is play around with the mutes so that still the ring of the hat, so I'll just delete. And I don't really want all the pretty plucked stuff. Actually, I do want it, but how do I want it? I want it in a way, maybe if I transpose it up an octave. There's a way. I don't know. I'm gonna try something weird. Auto pan on this thing. Copy the mutes from this to this. Actually, it'd be easier if I just had a send. Sounds good, except for the fact that the bass is all wrong. It's easily fixable. Maybe we'll turn off the arpeggiator for this part, so it'll just be. Most of a track here. Snare, like a plonky snare. I feel like plonky snares. I've got Gematics, aka Somatics drums, Jack U drums. Kind of has a future bassy feel to it, so I kind of want to lean into that with a future bassy snare. Yeah, like. I don't know. Something like that, maybe. do something here like end the phrase. It'll be a better transition because then there's a little more breathing room between. So we're gonna delete this. And we might even just get rid of. Quite an interesting track. So we're just going to go like that, and bass. Gotta turn off that bass. I'm gonna just end it right there. I'm gonna end it. So gotta find that impact so I can end it with it. Impact. Stop it. No. Drums. All right. So this section is the old drop that I'm not going to end up using, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to paste it sort of over here. Paste. Then I'm gonna see, now everything's all different. That's okay. That's dope. All right, so next thing I want to do is loop the whole track, basically. Oh, interesting. One thing I hadn't thought about was filtering this out, so I should do that. Filter. We're gonna bring this up over time. Another thing I could do. This drum's kind of strong to start out with that, right? So let's just go back. Just go with this. Change this to a. Drums here. So we're going to basically just duplicate time on the whole arrangement. And then hopefully... Yes, that's perfect. If we can just pull this out, then the whole track will be done, basically. like this track now. I feel like it all came together in the last, hour, but that's a really good. That's always good when that happens. There's a little bit of something with the vocal track. Let's see, where's the vocal track? I'm not totally. Oh, here it is. Let's change it to a different color here. That's it. I'm gonna basically, for your benefit, play through the whole track from start to finish. Maybe I'll put this at the beginning of the video. I don't know. Maybe not. You guys should check out www.nukage.net. Got lots of music on there. Check out my SoundClouds. Just nukage.net/SoundCloud, nukage.net/Facebook, nukage.net/YouTube, nukage.net/ everything else. I guess that's probably about it. Probably one I'm forgetting. Twitter. Yeah, nukage.net/Twitter. That's all my social links. Is just there's probably some I should add to that, but that's basically it. This has been Nukage, and this is my track from scratch using samples from old tracks that I made. And you basically, I don't know how long this video will be, but I think it's like under 3 hours, basically. Under 3 hours. This is it. I'm going to get rid of the video. And we're go. There. Does that work? There we go. All right, so Nukage signing off.